Hey people, welcome back to Axolotl Gaming. I am Axel, and today I'm building on the ZSU that I'm currently working on, and I am building a humble penguin exhibit, and it ends up being very large, I'd say. So I kinda messed that up because I really didn't. Originally I didn't want it to be that big. I wanted it to be like kind of one of the main enclosures of the zoo, if you can say that, like one of the main attractions that the zoo is known for. So I wanted it to be big because I really like penguins, but it ends up being very large because I only have bought 6 penguins from the. I meant 5 penguins actually from the CSU game store. And yeah, as you can see, I'm kind of building. I wanted it to be like a. I wanted to have an underwater viewing area for the guests. And what I'm building here is like seating areas where guests can sit while zookeepers talk about the animal, which in this case are humble penguins. So there's kind of like some conservation talks there and stuff like that. And as you can see, I'm just kind of messing around with the stairs. I tried making a railing. I may go back and change that. I think it looks a bit fat, but except for that, I think it's actually I'm really happy with how this turned out. Except for the size, it's enormous for penguins. Like it's ridiculously large. But I made it in a way that it would be really hard to go back and change the size and make it smaller because a lot of it's water, and I really had a hard time making this underviewing area work. It's usually not that hard for me at all, but it really was hard this time for some reason. But yeah, I really wanted it to be a huge enclosure, and I used these walls these rock walls later that it was a technique that I saw YouTuber named Caesar Creates use, and I really love it. But in this particular enclosure, it ended up making the enclosure look even bigger. So yeah, but I think it's worth it because it looks really good, I think, and I'm really happy with how this turned out actually. Of course, like I said before, I am not a professional Planet Zoo YouTuber. There are a lot of people who are much better than me, but I'm still, you know, it'd be kind of dumb if I didn't say that. But yeah, I'm just kind of working out, figuring out how I want this to look. I end up going with a very wooden look, which I think maybe doesn't make the most sense because of realism, because you wouldn't probably have wood supports on the wall in the water because it would rot away in a couple of years. So I may go back and change that to be like concrete or metal or something. But yeah, I'm using plaster to make the walls of the tank or whatever it's called. And I really love using plaster pieces. I use it way too much. I seriously have to start using something else than that because my zoo right now is extremely plastery. So yeah, but yeah, I'm kind of just figuring because it keeps doing that annoying thing, you know, when you put 2 pieces together and they overlap and it makes that flickering thing, and it hurts my eyes so much to look at. Yeah, I kind of struggle with the depth of how deep I wanted this to be, but I think in the end it's pretty alright. And they can deep dive, so it's okay. And yeah, I definitely also need a pretty huge backstage area for them. I kind of want some like a big building, backstage building behind the penguin enclosure for the keepers, because I haven't done anything really backstage like yet, and I definitely want to do that because I think it's fun to build this fun challenge, not just building enclosures for the animals, but also places for the zookeepers and staff and cleaning personnel and all that stuff. But yeah, I'm kind of just figuring out how high I want the water to be, but in the end, it's a bit low compared to the like the land area, but I think it ends up looking pretty alright. Yeah, but like I said, I'm building for these humble penguins, and I really love penguins. Actually, they're probably one of my favorite animals. They're pretty cool. They're like, they don't really give a shit about anything, and I think it's for example, like if penguins, the group of penguins standing at some water, and they want to check if it's safe to jump in, because there could be like leopard seals and all those kind of things that eat them. What they do is they push one of the other penguins in the water, and if the penguin gets eaten, then they're all like, okay, we should probably not go in that water, but otherwise it's safe. That's pretty cool. That's also pretty rude and cold, but I think it's pretty cool and kind of funny. And also, a lot of penguins actually. It's one of these animal species where a lot of it's pretty common actually that they're gay, which is pretty funny with homosexual penguins. But a lot of zoos have experienced that two males have started doing like mating behavior and living together, because penguins, a lot of penguin species, they mate for life. Yeah, these penguins will then, two male penguins will then try and like find rocks and stuff like that, and pretend it's an egg and try and hatch it, which is pretty cute too. And a lot of times the keepers will give them other penguins' eggs if the penguin who actually laid the egg didn't want to like hatch it. That happens sometimes with animals, but and then the men will try and hatch them, which is pretty cool actually, and then we'll raise a child. And sometimes actually the two male penguins will also steal the other penguin's eggs, which is kind of a dick move, but still pretty cool. So yeah, I'm just going back in checking if because I gotta learn with the servals, and yeah, something's a bit messed up with the servals. Like, as you can see, they're developing some kind of magic abilities, and I'm not really comfortable with it. They've begun like just teleporting to the roof and flying, and maybe probably because the keeper keeps throwing their food on the roof, which is also pretty rude, kind of giving me some Breaking Bad vibes with the pizza. But yeah, so I'll have to do something about the magic servals, I guess. But yeah, I'm just kind of trying to make this water not go into the viewing area too, which for some reason was pretty hard. But I end up making it work. But I've just gotta say, I really love this ZSU project. It's so much fun. It's really given me the joy of this game back, because it's a whole new challenge, and it's so fun. Like seeing other people build zoos and other people respond to your zoos and what you're building, and kind of having to like role play as a zoo. Yeah, what's it called? Person who owns a zoo in your pet room, and it's so fun. I really recommend it. It's if I still have a kind of hard time figuring a lot of the stuff out, because there's some of the stuff in the server is a bit complicated, but I think I'm getting the hang of it, and I really can't wait to like yeah, buy something off an auction, or get some new animals and trade some animals and have some babies and stuff like that. It's gonna be really fun, and I really look forward to like expanding this zoo. Yeah, but I've chosen the humble penguins because they fit in really well with the South American section, because yeah, they're from South America, and I also think they're pretty beautiful. Like, they look kind of like the African penguins, I think, but they have a bit longer heads. Like the African penguins' heads are very flat, I think, and the humble penguins have a like more, I don't know how you say it. You can describe like normal looking head, like it doesn't look as flat. I think the African penguin kind of looks like someone hit it right like on the top of the head with a hammer. Yeah, and yeah, I was kind of in the like conflict where if I don't know if I wanted like a rock background, and I end up using a rock background because I think it looks kind of bland and boring if it was just like concrete plaster. And I also kind of wanted an island, but then I end up like agreeing that it's the pond is too small. Like the body of water is too small to have an island. So I end up scrapping that idea and just focusing on the background. And I really like the. I also kind of wanted at the start a slope like down, so it didn't just end. And like the wall, when the wall goes down, I kind of wanted a slope, but I ended up also scrapping that idea because I just couldn't bother. I used a lot. It took me about 2 days to build this, and you know, at the end you just kind of get like whatever, and that's usually when I stop, because obviously that's when I get lazy and then do like things that are just easy and doesn't necessarily look good. So that's usually when I stop playing for the day and just like, yeah, watch some YouTube and do something else, because I only want to play this game when I really feel like it. And luckily I feel like it a lot of the time, but often it's like I want to play Planet Zoo, but I don't have any idea what I want to do. And if that's the case, then I usually just lose interest like after 5 minutes of playing, because I have to like feel inspired to do something specific. And this was like from the start of the zoo that I made here. This enclosure was something I had in mind and I planned out and sketched it and all that kind of stuff. It then ended up being extremely large, which I obviously didn't plan out, but yeah, at least the penguins have a lot of space to run around and do penguin stuff. Yeah, I kind of wanted like a bit of green on the wall, and I end up scrapping the trees. I don't like that. I use a lot of brackens, I know, but I really like the brackens because they're very lush, and I think that's maybe a problem because they maybe look a bit too like green, a bit too lush. It gives off kind of a tropical vibe, which I guess is fine. Penguins do live areas, but it's you know, it's in Denmark sense, but yeah. And I've also been actually we made a group in the ZSU zoo that I've been added to for other Danish zoos, and I think I really love that. It's so much fun just chatting with other Danes. It's mostly Danes, of course, and that group, because not a lot of foreigners even know about Denmark, so not a lot of them would choose to build their zoo in Denmark, I guess. But yeah, and then we just chat and like trade, because obviously it's easier to trade with zoos that are nearby than zoos that are far away. So it's much easier to trade a zoo that's like in the next town over than trading with something that a zoo that's on the other side of the earth, basically. But yeah, and I look forward to training with them. I'm kind of have an agreement that I definitely want some crocodiles in this zoo, because crocodiles are probably some of my favorite animals in the world. And this guy from the chat has some spectacle caimans, and we've made an agreement that if they breed or when they breed, I'll then get those yeah, juveniles. That's what they call it, juveniles, and then he'll get the my scarlet macaws offspring, if they get offspring. They probably will, because I have a lot of them. And I don't really know what to do with them otherwise. I was always planning on trading my my birds offspring. So yeah, that's actually really cool. And then I'll probably have them in like a backstage area at first, because I want I want it to be like a big thing. I want a big tropical section with like a huge hole for both crocodiles, but I also really want some turtles, different turtles. I think I really have an idea where I think it would be really cool to like a lot of turtles. Okay, that sounded dumb, but you know, like a lot of different species. So you maybe have like in this tropical building, you have a turtle house where it's like you walk through and there's like enclosures on both sides of the path, and there's different types of turtles. Because the modding community in this game really makes some awesome turtles. Like, I really love the turtle textures that some of the modders in this game have created. So I really want some turtles too, and generally I really love reptiles and you know, building for like like terrariums in this game, and I think it's really cool. So I really want some maybe spiders and scorpions and frogs too. I definitely want some poison. What are they called? Poison dart frogs. That's what they're called. Have a lot of those and morphs for them. I also really want that. I'm already like to plan out building. It's gonna be really large probably. So I'll have to get a little creative with that, because very large buildings can very easily end up looking like boring or weird or too large. So I have to be a little creative with that. Yeah, but spectacle caimans, great. I really want those. Especially because they're new from a new pack, so I don't have to install a mod or anything. It's really great. And but I also would like some maybe some black caimans actually, and definitely some crocodiles too, and some alligators. And American alligators would be really cool to have, because they can live outside in Denmark actually. Krokodille Zoo or Crocodile Zoo in Falster here in Denmark have and they do this thing where like they have all the different species of crocodiles in the world. Actually, it's really impressive, and they're breeding on them with really like successfully, and it's really cool actually. Doing a lot for conservation of crocodiles and stuff like that, and they do this thing where in the summertime they have these outdoor enclosures where they put some of their crocodiles, especially their American alligators, because you know they're used to live in Florida, which is probably it's not cold in Florida at all, but like it's colder than, for example, in saltwater crocodile, which lives in northern Australia, which is like one of the hottest places on Earth. So a saltwater crocodile will have a really hard time surviving in Danish weather, even in the summer. But American alligators, as like Danish summers are like winters in Florida, I think, pretty much. So they can survive that, and that's pretty cool. Then you can see them outside and in a larger enclosure, and I really want to do that kind of thing with some of my animals, where they both have an indoor enclosure for like winter time and a summer enclosure. Maybe not just for the crocodiles, but also for some other animals. And I also really love building enclosures for like small mammals and stuff like that. So I also would like something like a pangolin or an African honey badger or something like that. I kind of right now I don't want to buy anything that wouldn't fit into either the South American or the African section, because then it gets real messy, and I don't want to like be working on 3 different areas of the zoo at the same time. So yeah, but yeah, I'm just finishing up and building stuff, and I think I'll just leave you with it, and you'll yeah, you don't have to listen to my anymore. I feel I have to say a lot, and it's really annoying for me to hear. So it's probably pretty annoying for you too. So yeah, I apologize, but I'll try and improve. And yeah, please enjoy the speed build. See you next time. Please subscribe.